Hey guys, Nick Sergine here. Today I'd like to talk with you a little bit about foundation problems. One of the things you need to keep in mind when you're looking for a home in DFW is that a lot of the houses have foundation problems due to the types of soil that we have here in Texas. Especially in DFW, we have a lot of clay soil, which tends to heave your house up and down depending upon the weather. So let's look at a few of the indicators that may mean that you have foundation problems if you're looking to buy a home or if you're looking to sell yours and want to see maybe I need to have some foundation work done prior to listing. So one of the first things we're going to look at here is what we call the freeze boards. This is a house that has recently had some foundation work done. And if you look up here in the corner, you'll be able to see that the freeze boards are flaying out just a little bit. That was one of the indicators that we knew on this home that probably some work was going to be needed because the brick had actually heaved up and pushed out those freeze boards just enough that they actually had some caulk that they had put in here to try and cover over it. But we knew that that was something that was going to be needed. Moving down here, we're going to see a little bit of additional indications that foundation work's needed, and that's the cracks in the brick. Most people know to look for cracks in brick, and that's great, but what you may not know is at what point does it actually indicate a problem. Now, I'm not a foundation expert, but after taking some classes and doing a lot of sales myself, I know generally what to look for. And so what you're trying to see is, do I have these little types of cracks that are maybe, if you had a pencil and drew it on the wall, that's the thickness of the crack? Or is the thickness closer to maybe where you could stick a coin, say, in that crack, like I just have here? That's going to be kind of a medium grade crack. It's going to indicate that you probably need to have the foundation checked, but it may not be something that's an immediate concern. Now, if you get to the point that you actually can stick a finger inside the crack or a whole hand, then yes, you definitely need to have it looked at and have a professional foundation person come out and give you an evaluation of the home. One of the other things that we sometimes look for that actually didn't happen on this part of the house was whether the caulking around the windows is starting to come apart. So when these windows are shifting, obviously the window is a nice perfect square or rectangle, but when the house shifts up and down, it tends to separate that caulk from the brick on the side of the house. Fortunately, like I said, we didn't see that in this home, but it's definitely a very common thing that we see a lot with homes. So with that, let's take a look at the inside and see what some of those indicators are on the inside of the house that there may be issues with the foundation. So now we're inside the house, and let's look at a few different issues that may show us that we have foundation problems inside the house. One of the most common is cracks in the walls. As you can see here, this crack runs from the corner of the door frame all the way up to the ceiling. Now, one of the things that I'm looking for as I go through a house is this a diagonal crack? Diagonal cracks are the biggest indicator that you may actually have a foundation problem. If you have vertical cracks, so I'm talking about cracks that just go straight up and down like this one here, this is probably more so along the line of the tape where the sheetrock is, and so may not be as concerning of an issue. Now, we already know that this house needed some foundation work, so that one is actually indicative of there needing to be work on the home, but we don't want to jump to any conclusions. There are lots of different cracks that you'll see in homes. You can see if you have cracks like this that run all the way from a vent to the wall. This is a pretty big crack, pretty significant. Even though we do have some vertical cracking and horizontal cracking, I'm going to go ahead and call those out as also being indicators that some foundation work is probably needed, but at the very least we need to have a foundation expert come in and give us an evaluation of the home. And that's one important thing is you want to make sure that you have a good real estate agent who has connections in the foundation industry so that he can call out people who will give you an honest assessment of your foundation to see whether or not you actually need work or if it's something that perhaps just shows some settling. Well, that's it for today. I appreciate you watching, and we will see you next time.